Hi, and welcome to Astro Bites for Friday, the 4th of October, 2024. So, as usual, I will give you the daily briefing on the astrological transits that we need to be aware of to navigate our way through Friday. And then we'll have the word of the day. And it's another interesting one. Well, they're always interesting, aren't they? On the whole. Anyway, on with the astrology, because the main point that we need to talk about today is that Saturn in Pisces is exactly trining Venus in Scorpio. So it's still making this grand, or they're still both making this grand trine to Mars in Cancer, but the emphasis and the energy lies between Saturn in Pisces retrograde and Venus in Scorpio, and that's what I'm going to talk about. So the moon has also just moved into Scorpio, so we're building up into this kind of more deep shadow energy. There really is something about, I wonder, with this energy, with Saturn trining Venus, if there is some kind of relief, release, some kind of setting free, letting go of. It's like Saturn has been holding Venus back, and Mars in a way, saying, whoa, 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 hold it, not yet, not yet. And then today, we get this exact trine between Saturn and Venus. Saturn, remember, is about rules, the law. It's about boundaries. It's about timing. It's about endings. It's a trine. This could bring about, so when I was talking about setting free, this can bring about an ending in a relationship which is actually overdue and needed and a relief, in fact, for both parties. Now, whether this will play out on the world stage as well, let's have a think about it. Well, they'd have to be talking, wouldn't they? There'd have to be some communication going on. And Mercury today is not making any strong aspects to anything. So I'm not confident that there is going to be much dialogue going on between world leaders. Not that, it feels as if it's a little bit fixed and stuck. But this Saturn trine Venus is suggesting that it's suggesting bringing in compassion, bringing in the empathy, bringing in love. What happened? Why did we all forget about love? Love is so precious. And, the event chart that I'm actually looking at has Saturn in the 12th house, where it is restricted in many ways, where it is asking us to go deep within and really look within. Venus is in the 8th house, which of course is a Scorpio house, and it's Scorpio in this event chart. There's something about secrets have to come out. The truth has to be told. Because if we're not dealing with truth, then nothing can move towards being resolved. I'm looking also at this trine between retrograde Pluto in Capricorn and Uranus. And this is from the 11th to the 2nd house. Uranus, rebellion, freedom of speech. Pluto, transformation. the old order needs to break down. If it doesn't break down, we can't rebuild the new. That goes on a personal level as well. If it ain't working and you can't fix it, then let it go. Sometimes things you just can't fix. Sometimes we just have to let something go. Close a chapter. Bring closure. And progress on. And allow the new to come in. And with all this Libran energy in the 7th house of relationship, remember this house can also be our enemies. And we do still have the square to Mars in Cancer. So there is a sense of sometimes the enemies are within. They're within the home. Sometimes they're within us. We are not our own best friend. But there's Libran energy. And the sun here is talking about, with Mercury, dialogue. Communicate. Communication, as we know, is the key to everything. Not just communicating what I want to say, communicating to listen to what is said back. Then not to judge, but to go, okay, I'm not sure that I agree with everything you're saying, but... So there's this give and take. And I suppose I'm imploring humankind to find a way through this quagmire of enormous change that we're going through on the planet. And we have a lot to get through in October of challenging energies. And we need to make sure we make the right decisions, whether it's personally or professionally or on the world stage. Let's move on to our word for the day. And the word for the day is actually really quite a good one. It's acceptance. Because this is something that I think a lot of people do struggle with. Because, you know, this is where we accept others as they are, hoping they'll accept us as we are, and accepting the way things are in our life. It's like the serenity prayer. You know, knowing the difference. We can't change. Some things we just cannot change. We have to accept, and we have to know the difference between what we can change and what we can't change. So Buddha said, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Michel de Montaigne said, the greatest thing in the world is to know how to belong to oneself. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment, and that's freedom. What about accepting others, though? Well, Michael J. Fox said, acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means understanding that something is what it is, and that there's got to be a way through it. I like that. My favorite psychoanalyst, Carl Jung, said, we cannot change anything until we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses. If we learn to open our hearts anyone, including the people who drive us crazy, can be our teacher. That's a quote by someone I'm unaware of called Pema Chodron. Then we move on to George Orwell. And he says happiness can exist only in acceptance. And I think that's the truth. Lao Tzu says, life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow. Let reality be reality. And then, oh, and I can't pronounce this one. Probably Japanese. Kakuzo Okakura. Not bad, was it? The art of life is a constant readjustment to our surroundings. That's like the word we had a few days ago about survival. We have to adapt to our circumstances. So all of these quotes kind of emphasize the importance of accepting firstly ourselves, the situations that life presents, because that's the only way we're going to find peace and happiness and serenity to bring in that other word of the day. So, on that note, please remember to like, comment and subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow with another Astro Bite, and thank you so much for being here. Love you all loads. Bye for now.